Hey guys, welcome back to our second episode of Girls Gone Viral podcast. I'm Bree.
And I'm Mamiana.
And we're so happy that you're here. Before we start, we want to just say thank you so much to everyone who tuned in last week for our debut episode. We appreciate the positive feedback, everything that everyone has said, all the kind and encouraging words. Truly appreciate it. So thank you guys so much.
Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can, get to know you and also read some of your feedback.
Awesome. So let's get right into it. We have interesting topics for you today. We're talking about breakups, making up, and glowing up after. I want to kind of discuss what's been going on with the lawsuit against Wells Fargo. So just this week, there has been a class action lawsuit filed against Wells Fargo Bank for discriminating against, I'm like tongue twisted. There's been a class action lawsuit filed against Wells Fargo Bank for discriminating against black homeowners.
There you go.
There you go. Like all the words were just getting together. But yeah, so I'm going to read some of the statistics about it. According to Bloomberg.com, it's citing data from 8 million refinancing applications from the year 2020. The lawsuit says that Wells Fargo was more likely to approve refinancing applications from white borrowers earning between $0 and $63,000 annually than it was for black applicants earning between $120,000 and $168,000 annually. So black applicants earning over six figures more per year than white applicants were being denied at a significantly higher rate from Wells Fargo. So they're saying that it is the modern version of redlining, which was outlawed due to discriminatory housing practices. So how do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it? I mean, obviously it's something that we are continuing to fight against these type of like discriminatory matters that happen to us every day. We saw back in during the presidential campaign when Donald Trump was running for president, and those type of things were being brought up, and how he discriminated against people that were trying to live in his apartment in condos and things like that, and how they had their own way of redlining and picking and choosing who they were going to lease these apartments to. So this is something that it's prevalent, and what happens is it gets kind of like slid under the rug. You know what I mean? Another prime example, we saw this during COVID when small business owners were applying for loans.
Yes. That was a big thing.
And we saw how these specifically minority businesses were shut out of getting these loans. These businesses were the last to get funded, to the point that they had to roll it back out, a second time. And then they had distributed the money into like smaller communities to make sure that the money ended up going to minority businesses.
Right.
So this is something that we see every day, and we're discriminated against every day. And a lot of times we don't even know that we're being discriminated against.
Right. Because I'm pretty sure many of these applicants that were denied the refinancing or denied the mortgage loans just figured, maybe they weren't ready, or maybe they had to, improve upon improve upon something in order to get that financing or get approved. When in reality, that they're white applicants who made significantly less than them that were being approved. For me, it's kind of just a very dangerous situation because it's something as major as home funding. Oftentimes in the majority of people's lives, their home is their biggest investment. That's where they're going to place the majority of their earned income into their home, into their homestead. So when a major bank like Wells Fargo is intentionally discriminating against a demographic of people for something as significant as home ownership and, a place to live, it's kind of scary to think what other small things are that we're not noticing, But it's also great that, this lawsuit has been actually filed and that it's going to come to light, and then the true everything that happened will be exposed,
Right. Yeah, definitely. And I definitely think that, it has, once it's exposed, we need a follow-up. It can't just be exposed, but what's going to be done to make sure that this doesn't keep happening, because we know that it's not just Wells Fargo, right? So we know that there are other banks that are doing this as well, and we need to make sure that we have laws that protect us against these type of things, because it does happen too often. And then when you're not knowledgeable about it, or sometimes you're just not educated about the process, like you said, you would just think, well, maybe I missed something. Maybe I wasn't, qualified enough. When the whole time you were perfect, you were overqualified. You were overqualified.
Right.
And you just didn't get chosen. So I think we should definitely keep following up with that to see what's going to be the ongoing progress,
and keep the conversation going with these things when they happen. Expose these companies, expose these businesses, expose these negative practices. Let's get into the bread and butter of what we are here to talk about today, which is makeups, breakups, glow up.
Yes, this is gonna be a very sensitive topic, I think, for so many people, because this is so relatable to everyone. Everyone has broken up, made up, and hopefully you're glowing up.
Right.
You're not just chill.
So how do you want to discuss this? So let's start off with breakups. Breakups.
I think you guys can tell this topic is very personal for us.
Yeah,
it's very personal. I think Brianna, I think you've gone through a recent breakup.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it in the last episode that I have recently gone through divorce. So that is, I guess, the breakup of breakups.
Yeah.
The breakups of breakups.
Let me ask you something about
that.
Okay. A lot of people say that when you get a divorce, I don't know if you felt like this, but I've heard people describe a divorce as feeling like they experienced a death, like a death in the family, or it's like this morbid type of thing. You're smiling. Did you experience that, or didn't you?
That was not my experience.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not minimizing my divorce or being insensitive to it. It was really it was a difficult, it was a challenging time for me. I think, and I want to be careful with the words I'm saying, but I think that if it were to happen, all the stars aligned where it happened in the most effective way for me possible, because it happened during the pandemic. And it didn't happen during the pandemic. I mean, the separation was already ongoing, but the bulk of that transition and that turbulence was during the pandemic. So I was able to focus on closing that chapter and moving forward in a way that I would not have been able to do had I have been working, had I been, had the world been going regularly, and then I had to adjust that with the normal pace of the world. It was kind of like a major adjustment. Everyone in the world was adjusting at the same time.
Yeah.
As was I. So I had kind of that pandemic adjustment and my personal life adjustment at the same time. But I think that quarantine and the self-isolation allowed me to heal, to go through it, and to heal in a way that I probably would not have been able to had that didn't happen. So I'm not saying that, it worked out, the divorce was a good thing, but I'm saying if it was inevitable, and because it happened at that time, I think it was good for me. But to go back to your question, does it feel like this morbid thing? No. No. I I don't know. Maybe I'm a different kind of person. And I've gotten this before. This is not the first conversation that I had where I was able to say, like, it was tough. It was a culture shock. It was an adjustment period. It was it was sad that someone who I expected that I was going to spend my entire life with, someone who I started a family with, someone who was like this major force in my life that like I shared everything with, was like suddenly just over. But I don't feel as if it was morbid, deathly thing. For me, it was kind of just like, clearly this is happening, and either I'm gonna get with it or get left behind. I mean, I don't know.
I think one thing that we learn from breakups is that a lot of things get covered up in relationships that we don't address. So it's not just one thing, right? It just could have been something that you weren't addressing, or maybe it was some things that you did address, but it didn't resolve. Like, you didn't come to a resolution. And I think, like, with breakups, sometimes breakups could be prevented. Like, you ever see some couples, you like, they should not separate. Like, they should not get divorced. They should not break up. Like, they have so much to hold on to. Like, don't let it go. Like, fight for it, right? And then you have these situations where, I don't know, you get this kind of epiphany, but it's like after the fact, where it's just kind of like, whatever happened should happen. It should have happened. And it's just like, you don't know why it should have happened that way, but it feels right. You know what I mean?
What, the breakup?
Not the breakup, but the purpose. Like, when you look at the overall aspect of the whole picture, right?
I'm not understanding. You got to be a bit more specific.
Okay, let me try to explain. Okay. You know how they say hindsight is 20/20? Okay, so hindsight is 20/20, which means that you don't really see clearly until you're ahead of it, and then you look back.
Oh yeah, that I can agree with.
So sometimes you might have a breakup, and then you look back on that breakup, and you're just like, this makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, that I can agree with. And that I can relate to. It's kind of funny that you mentioned that, and I don't know if that was specific towards my situation or not, but I can absolutely relate to that in the sense where I can't even pinpoint the reason why it happened. Like, it was kind of just like these series of unfortunate events that were like, none of them really were that bad, but then eventually it was like a volcano erupting. It was like, it's been brewing under the earth for thousands of years, and then one day it erupted. So when I was going through the motions of the separation and divorce, I'm thinking, this is not going to happen for real. Like, there's no way this is actually going to be the end of this marriage. There's no way this is going to be the, like, my family is breaking up. Like, I did not think it, because it was just, there was no moment that was like, this is when it's going to happen, But now, looking back at it, I'm like, woo! I see why.
So it's a lie. I mean, yeah, breakups are...
What was your craziest breakup?
Oh my gosh. My craziest breakup... I was in a relationship for about 5 years. And it was sad. I didn't have the experience you had.
You were sad? But that's a different... We have different personalities. Yeah, I don't even be getting sad about...
I'm really like nothing. Super dramatic and traumatic and just like... I feel all the feels. Like... I feel all the feels. I think because, like, like when you talk about like love languages, like one of my top love languages is acts of service. So I give so much, like, because you know how whatever your love language is not only how you give love, but it's how you want to receive it also. Right. So my love language, one of my top love languages is act of service, and so I give so much of myself because I'm expecting it back, right? And then when you are with someone who they're trying to love you how they love you, and they don't know, they don't know how to love you how you need to be loved, or maybe they're loving you, but maybe at their own capacity. Maybe they just don't have it in them to do what you do, because that's what makes us individuals and makes us special. So I feel all the feels, like everything from my head to my toe. Like, it's like I'm the person that can't eat, can't sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm that. Like, going through a breakup is just like, I'm dying.
Like, but what is it that makes you feel like that? Is it the loss of the person being with the person every day, or not having a companion, or like what is it that makes you get so overwhelmed with emotion?
I just get really, like, I just love really hard, and it's all like how I was describing a death. That's what it feels like for me. Like, it's not so much specifically about that person, even though I would try to make it seem like it is, like I just don't want to lose this person. But when I actually really sit down and think about it, it don't have nothing to do with that. It's really just me feeling like I'm losing control, like I'm losing, like I can't control this situation, and it's just like I feel like I'm just losing everything. Even if I don't see that person as my everything, but I feel like I'm losing like everything that I put into it.
I wonder if that's a blessing or a curse.
It's both. I feel it's both a lot of times, because like I said, I feel like I'm losing everything that I put. So I put all this energy into this, right? And I'm not reaping the benefits of it.
So what is the benefits that you reap from that? Like, okay, what would be the best case scenario? What do you want back from a relationship?
You want back what you mean, and I've never had that, and so breakups feel so much like I did. I remember saying this so many times after a breakup, and I had to learn how to stop feeling that way. But at first, I was really bitter, because it was just like, I did all of this for you. You know what I mean? I did all of this for you, and you didn't give it back. So I was just so...
But that is the wrong way to think about it, because you are doing these things because you want to do it. Like, for me, I never felt in a relationship like I had expectations. I mean, I do have expectations, but I verbalize those expectations, and then, I expect to get what I'm asking for, but I never said... Or I even had the thought to say, like, oh, I did this for you, so I can't believe that this is how it turned out. For me, it's like, I did those things because that's what I wanted to do. So I wasn't really expecting you to do anything. And if you weren't doing it way back then, I would have stopped doing it back then, because I am reciprocal.
And see, that's something that I had to learn. So, that comes with growth. Me, I'm more of, like I said, I'm a server. And so I always thought, if I'm a server, then other people serve.
If you're a server, you're going to attract takers. If you give, you're going to attract someone who takes.
And everybody doesn't serve. And so I thought that if I'm doing this I'm setting the example, right, of this is how it's supposed to go.
But do you verbalize your desires? You verbalize your needs.
Yeah, and that's why I said that was the hardest breakup I ever had, because I learned so much, right? I learned so much about me. Not specifically about that person, because I already knew who that person was. He showed me who he was. But I learned a lot about me, and where I needed to make adjustments, and where I needed to grow, and how I needed to approach, relationships differently, and how I needed to basically, like, kind of, I always felt like a woman, but I needed to woman up, and I needed to really, like, just dig deep inside myself and be like, okay. I remember going to therapy, and the therapist said to me, why do you love this person? And I just sat there like stuck, because the therapist was basically like, I don't know why you love this person. You should not love this person. You need to let this. This is what the therapist is saying in their head, but they're not gonna say that to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, that's very easy. Like for me, I didn't have to. And it's just interesting, and I'm not saying one is right or wrong, but it's just very interesting to me that like when you're saying these things, it sounds like you're speaking Swahili, because it's like what? Like I only would love someone if they like loved me too, or if I had something to love, like. I can have genuine care for you. I can love you from afar. I can love someone from a distance for sure. And maybe that don't mean love. Maybe that means I care about your well-being. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to get hit by a bus. But like, for me to love you in a romantic and in an emotional and in a relationship type of way, nah, I'm gonna need all of it. If I'm not getting that, like,
and I think that's where the lines get blurred also, because the person is not all bad. The person is not, they're not treating you bad day in, day out. They're still showing you care. They're just not giving you exactly what you need to the capacity that you need it, right? So they're giving you just enough, right, to kind of have you holding on. You know what I mean? So it's just like when you look at the entirety of a person, you're not looking at the person like everything that they do bad. You're looking at the things that they do right too. And so that's what happens, is it gets really like the lines get really blurred, because like, yeah, they're not really giving me this, but they are giving me that.
Okay, that I could understand.
So I would agree. I wouldn't stay with someone who is just like not giving me anything. I wouldn't do that either. But that's not how it is. It's more like, okay, they're giving you a little bit of this, but they're not giving you a little bit of that. They're giving you but when you realize how much
managing your expectations, like, maybe, like, let's see it as a job, you're not asking your boss to roll out the red carpet for you every time you walk in, to, praise the ground you walk on. But as long as you show up on time and you do your work, you expect that they treat you with respect and pay you. You know what I mean? And if that relationship works, even you show up and you do your job and they treat you with respect and they pay you, you can work at a job from the moment you graduate high school until you retire. You know what I mean? So I can understand why you can say the lines will get blurred and like, you're just seeing the good and not seeing the bad. But for me in relationships, it's like relationships are not relationships are a luxury, in the sense where this person does not have to be here and you don't have to be there for them. It is a conscious effort that both of the parties in the relationship are making to continue to show up and continue to do your part to make it work. So it's like the moment that one part is not being done, I'm not asking for the red carpet to roll out. I'm not asking to worship the ground I'm walking on. But if I'm showing up on time and doing my job, but you not treating me with respect and you not paying me, or vice versa, or if the job is paying you every week, every 2 weeks you're getting your paycheck, but you late every day and you come to work and you fall asleep, like, one of you are not holding your end of the bargain. And once that bare minimum is not done, that's when there's a problem. So kind of sum up in totality, breakups. For you, you take breakups as like you take it very personal.
I used to.
Okay.
I used to take it personal. Now, not so personal. Now it's more like logical. Even though I have those feelings, the logic starts to come in. And the logic starts to say, you don't need this person. You you could do better. You know, like the logic starts to come in, starts to kick in and say, why do you really want to be attached to this person? You know, and I start having all these thoughts like, does this make sense? You know what I mean? It's more, before I used to be more emotional, right? Now I'm not as emotional. I still have emotions, but I don't let the emotions overtake, you know, the responsibility and love that I have for myself. I love myself more than I love this other person.
And that's super important.
And I'm not going to jeopardize my happiness for anyone. So that's that.
So makeups.
Makeup. Ooh, I love making up.
Okay, I know that's right. How you make up? So, okay. Have you ever taken an ex back?
Yeah. I've taken a couple.
How did that go?
Back. It's like usually with 9 times out of 10, if you take an ex back, you're going to see why. You're going to run into the reason why you broke up with them in the first place. Or you might start seeing a whole bunch of new reasons. But even just makeup in general, right? Because sometimes like for instance, like with a spouse or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, y'all might have some arguments, but you're not ready to break up. You don't want to break up.
Of course.
You want to make up. Could be, you know, all aspects. Making up, you know, trying to get somebody back. You know, it could be making up, you know, with your significant other. Y'all walking around the house not talking to each other. See, that's not me. I don't do that. I don't do none of that.
You don't do silent treatment.
No.
You address the issues.
Babe. What? Well, talk to me.
Really?
Yes, I can't do the silent treatment. I can't do the you sleeping on one side of the bed with your back like this and my back. I can't do it. I can't. Like no. Like we need to talk. We need to talk tonight. Like we're not doing this tomorrow. Like we gotta do this right now. Today.
What if they're not ready to yet?
We gotta do it today.
But what if they're not ready to?
We gotta do it today.
That's toxic.
No, it's not like I'm gonna be in your face or whatever. But
you just said you're gonna be like, babe, talk to me. You just said that.
That's an exaggeration.
Okay, so how does it work for you?
It's like this. Let's sit down and talk. I've never had a person that was just like, I don't want to talk to you today. I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow. I don't even be in relationships with people like that because I can't do that. Like, we're gonna work it out or we not gonna be together. That's like...
So if you get in a fight...
I never had a relationship where the argument rolled over to the next day.
So you've never had a 24-hour argument?
No. It has to be talked... Now, you know how you could start talking about it and then you might not finish the conversation. It might kind of like... Okay, you might take a while to like get to a resolution, but it's not like... I'm not talking to you and you're not talking to me and we're just going to ignore each other and we're just going to walk around. Like I've seen people live in the same house and not talk to each other for days at a time, just walk around each other. I know people like that do that. I can't
not
do that.
To that extreme, but it's like you made me upset and I'm really not ready to talk right now. I'm not ready to talk. I'm still thinking about what happened. I'm not ready to discuss it because I haven't processed it. I haven't processed it yet.
I don't know what that's like. I've never been with nobody like that does that.
Okay, well, I'm that person, so you can't date me.
Tell me how. I can't date you.
I know. We can't be together. It's not that I'm like so angry at you that I don't want to talk. It's not that. It's just like I'm like, okay, it's like someone, let's say, not even in a relationship. Let's say you're in a disagreement with anything. Like it could be a business partner, it could be a relationship, it could be a friend, whatever. And you did something to them and you don't even realize that you did something wrong. Let's say I cannot think of a specific example right now, but like, let's say you do something unintentionally, you know, and it bothers the other person. And they call you and they're like, Monique, you're like, hey girl, or hey so-and-so, what's going on? And they're like, well, I just wanted to discuss this and this and this, and this is what you did, and this is how you made me feel. And you're like, you're kind of taken back by it because they have been pondering on this. They even say, I'm going to call her. I'm going to let her know what's going to happen, what she did. And you are just receiving this information for the first time. I'm not ready to talk about it. I want to think about it like how you thought about it. I want to think about it. You know what I mean? So sometimes for me, it's not necessarily that I'm so angry with you that I don't want to talk. It's just that, okay, we had this problem, this disagreement, this fight, this whatever it is, and I love you, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Like, I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Like, I need to think about it. I need to process it. I don't even know how I feel yet. How we got into an argument at 12 o'clock and at 1 o'clock you want me to I don't even know how I feel about it yet. And for you to tell me that, no, we got to talk about this tonight, I feel like that's intrusive. Like, that's I'm not ready. That's insensitive to my feelings.
See, I couldn't. I'm like I said, I've never been with a person who didn't want to talk about it. So I don't even know what that's like. You know what I mean? I don't even know what your partner would feel like when they came to you and they wanted to hear something and then they got nothing. I don't know what that's like. You know what I'm saying? I know how I would respond if I were you. If that person called me, I don't know what's going on. I just know that they're upset about something or I made them feel some type of way. How I would respond. And that would be more so, I didn't know I made you feel like, I didn't know, and let them talk and let them,
I think that's the best way to do
themselves.
It. You can listen, but I will listen, but I don't necessarily have anything to say back. And because the situation is heightened, there's a lot of emotions involved, and sometimes when you're speaking from a hurt place or an angry place, you say things that you don't mean. And once you say something, you can't take it back. That's one thing. Once you say, you can think about everything. But once it comes out your lips, it can't come back. So
are you the type of person that has a sharp tongue when you're in an argument?
Yes. And maybe that is part of my growth process in the sense where I'm saying I won't talk about it right now. Maybe that's something I've learned unconsciously, that I need to think about what I say before I start talking, because I'll say things that I mean it, but I shouldn't be saying that. Obviously I mean it because I said it, but like
you mean it.
But no, but truly, I'd rather say nothing than to say the wrong thing,
Yeah. See, I don't know if it's just like my Libra vibes or something. Like, I just don't, like, I'm not the type of person that hits below the belt.
Oh, I do.
So I don't hit below the belt. Like, I'm really easy to make up with because I just approach it as if it were me. Like, approach it as if how I would want somebody to treat me if it was the other way around. So I'm really good at knowing, like, not saying like I've never ever said something mean to a person. Not saying that. I'm not perfect. I'm not walking around with a halo over my head. But I also know what's too far and what's not too far. And I know when to be like, humble myself and say I'm sorry. I know how to just, even sometimes when I'm the type of person, I can apologize if I feel like you probably think I'm a lot more wronger than what I think I am, but I can still be like, to smooth things over, give you the apology that you need so we don't have to discuss this, because I don't want to keep going back and forth with you. Like, I just hate it. You know what I mean? I just want peace and love.
Even if that means that you're sweeping it under the rug? I can't sweep it under the rug.
It depends on what it is. Some things are just not worth going back and forth over.
Of course. If it's not worth, so it kind of depends on the argument as well. Like, not every little thing, like, oh, you didn't wash the dishes, and now I have to think about what I'm gonna say. No, it's not like that,
Yeah.
But I mean those true arguments where it's a makeup, Yeah. But overall, for me, I'm very apologetic. First of all, I am so easy to talk to. Like, I will listen and not say a word.
What's your face be saying though? Your face
No, but it also takes a lot for me to get mad.
It's not any little like they be listening, but they face be like,
no, that's not me either. I don't. First of all, with all of this being said, I probably fight with my partners twice a year. Literally. We do not get in fights.
Yeah.
So that's why what I'm saying is when we do, it's going to be something overly dramatic, and then it's going to be something where I'm going to need to, reflect before I deflect, you know? But any of those little things, like, I don't get mad over the little things. Like, I'm not tripping off my man when he don't answer the phone, or I'm not tripping off my man when he say he's going to be here at 2 o'clock and he gets here at 5 o'clock. Like, I'm not going to be like, where the fuck is that? I'm not, I don't.
Yeah.
Not that I don't care, but that's not something that I would even say anything. Like, I wouldn't even, that's not even a thing for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, those little things that is like, you said you was going to wash the dishes today and you didn't. What the hell is going on? I don't need to, that we can talk about right now, because that's that's not even nothing to talk about. Like, that's just, but it's the major things that it's like, I gotta think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've never had like a person come to me and be like, I'm mad at you. Like, I was trying to think.
I have.
I'm not saying I'm perfect, y'all, but I really don't do nothing in my I mean, the stuff that people think that the stuff that a boyfriend or something would get mad at me about is something like, I just think it's just like out of my control. Like, it'll be something like some guy said something to me on like social media. I don't have control over that. Like, I don't know that man like that. It'll be stuff like that, because I'm not. Like, what can you come to me? I'm not a cheater. I'm nice to you. Like, what are you coming to me? Like, it's always going to be something to me, like, really small and crazy. But I just like, okay, I'll block him. Like, whatever. Like, just whatever I can do.
If your man comes to you and tells you, I don't like this man who likes all your pictures, block him. You're blocking him, period?
Yeah. I have actually had a friend. Oh, God, this is so... I had a friend.
Do you tell your man to block women on Instagram or social media?
No.
Yeah. I have never done that.
Yeah. But I had a friend. He was a homeboy from high school, and he was on some weird stuff, and he came to my birthday party and serenaded me and all this kind of stuff, and it was looking like kind of romantic type of thing.
Okay, that sounds like your boyfriend.
And the boyfriend was just looking like, who is this? And I'm just like, I didn't know he was going to do this. Like, it was just crazy. And I had to end our friendship because it was just like, what were you thinking?
So now you and the man who you were with are long gone. Y'all are not together, and you and the friend, you lost a friend.
I didn't really feel bad about losing the friend because I was like, you trying to set me up. You should know that these are boundaries that you just should not be crossing. Like, you cannot be having this romantic setting, all the lights are dim, and you on the microphone singing like,
that was weird.
That was weird. So I was just like, good riddance.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
So, glow ups.
I feel like this is just like, finally to the happy part.
I can tell my glow up story. It's not even like, oh, I broke up and now I'm the best person ever. No, for me, I have been like, and it was we kind of touched base on this a little bit in the last episode here. But excuse me. We touched base on this a little bit in the last episode, but since my breakup, I have been super hyper focused on myself. I've been dating. I've been like, enjoying my newfound freedom, I guess I can say. But overall, like, in retrospect, I've been super self-focused. And I think it has less to do with the breakup and more to do with just the free time that I have had for myself, where I have literally watched myself become the best version of myself, and it's quite the experience. And I think that also allowed me to heal from the breakup, because it's like I have something else to focus on that is so important, and that's me. You know, um, not saying that from time to time I don't mourn being married. I don't mourn my ex-spouse. I do not. And oh my gosh, like I have just been doing all of these things that I would have never normally done. I've just been
Like what?
like little things
I
like
know one
exploring
thing,
my
a
comedy.
big thing. Yes.
Yes, like that is like so much for me. Like that's everything for me. Even like, you know, I'm like a beach bum. Like I love the beach. Like even now, it's like I just go to Hollover Beach, get butt ass naked, and lay out. Like I couldn't do that when I was, you know, married. I mean, I guess I could, but I
Didn't want to.
yeah. Now I just be sunbathing ass out on the beach, like and that's something that I truly love. Like I enjoy it. Like that's like it has nothing to do with the nudity. It just has everything to do with just the beach and being one and just being like
Free.
enjoying my own personal company. Like just so many things that like I don't even know. And just also my mindset. I have been learning so much. I've been growing. I've been, you know, listening to different speakers that have just opened up a different level of consciousness for me. You know what I mean? Things that I just didn't understand. I understand the world. I understand how I relate to the world. I understand how this whole thing works. I understand that we are just not here just living, breathing, dying. And I understand that like this brain in my head is a magnet, you know, to everything that I want, or my imagination is the pathway to accepting my desires. Like these are things that like I didn't know because I just didn't think about it because I was just happy and content in my little life, and I just had my little man in my little life, and I was just okay. And it wasn't until like, not saying that I maybe would not have learned these things had I still been married, you know, I don't know, maybe that was part of maturity just in age and growing that I learned these things. But I can say that my glow up is on another level. My glow up is from the inside out. And I can also say that because I didn't get out of one relationship and hightail into another to like satisfy that void, I can see clearly how that could have been counterproductive to me, because I have examples all around of how those who have exited one relationship and hop right into another are self-destructing versus those who take time to just ground and then regrow. And woo, I feel amazing. I feel great. I feel happy. I feel blessed. I feel so blessed. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Feel the energy.
Yeah,
I can feel the
I'm
energy,
so grateful.
okay?
Truly.
I can feel the glow up.
Yeah, I truly, like, you don't understand the gratitude that I have for this season of my life right now. Like, truly. Yeah.
I like that. That just makes me happy.
Yeah.
It makes me happy to see you happy.
Yeah, like truly, like it's like another level. Like it feels like it's just gratitude on another level, for real.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, for me, I mean, just glow up is just, man, I don't even know if I don't know if glowed up is that a word? Glowed up.
It's a word today.
Glue up, like
I'm glued up. I'm glued up.
Like I don't even know. It's funny because, you know, I think I'm one of those people that need a little bit of brokenness.
Explain.
I need a little bit of brokenness. It makes me better.
What? Explain.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to explain in a sense, but sometimes you just need to go through some stuff to pull out the best parts of you. You know what I mean? And I've been through some stuff, and it really changed me to the point where it's like I don't even know whoever that person was. I don't know who that person. I don't even know that person anymore. It just it's like I needed to go through it. It had to happen, because if it didn't happen, I don't know if I would be sitting right here right now on this podcast if it didn't happen. And because it just made me so much more confident. Like the way I love myself, the way I view myself, the way I see myself, like the confidence that I have in myself is something that I just didn't really have before. Like I always knew, like, I'm gonna be somebody, I'm gonna do something. I've never been like, like I'm just like a bum, you know what I'm saying? But it just took my confidence level to just next atmosphere, next dimension, because I don't have all of that stuff that's burdening me down anymore. So it's like when you go through some things, it's just like it feels like you're just carrying all this baggage, and you climbing up this hill, and you just like, why is it taking me so long? Why am I still sad? Why am I still depressed? Why I still keep thinking about this and that, and you just can't let it go. You know what I mean? And then once I actually like healed, like genuinely healed, because people will say that they're healed and they're not really healed. But to be healed, but to also have that restoration where it's just like, whew, that's done. What's next? Like, what does life have for me next? Like, that's how I feel right now. I just want to do any and everything that I think of that could just stretch my potential. You know what I mean? And for me, that's just like, it's glowing up to me. I'm not living in nobody's shadow. I'm not looking for nobody's attention, begging nobody for attention. I used to be a beggar, like, in my previous life.
In your relationships?
Begging. And it's like, I don't know who that person is. Like, I don't, like, it's just to even think about, like, oh, I used to be like, but why this and why that? I used to be that person. So annoying. Like, just when I think about that type of person that I was, because I'm just like begging for, something, begging for love, or begging to get something back that really I already
have.
I have it, and I
don't even want it.
I'm worthy of it, and it don't have to come from
you, or
it don't have to come from anybody, like, really. But just the mere fact that I know that I'm worthy of it just makes it so much better, because I know it. Like, I know I'm worthy of it. So it's just like anything that comes into my life that's just don't feel right. No, you messing up my glow up. Like, you gotta go. Like, you gotta go.
I love that. I love that.
You gotta go. But yeah, I think.
Cheers,
girl. Whew, this conversation was rough.
Yeah, but cheers to that. And we have so much more in store for Girls Gone Viral. We have a lot of cool segments that we're going to introduce very, very soon. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
And share.
Yes.
Share. Bye, guys.